Before we start this video, do like and subscribe to our channel and not miss on any updates.
Hello friends, so today I want to highlight some of the common mistakes that students do when they attempt exams. So I have here with me results of November 23 exam and also a certified copy of the answer sheet that the student has got from ICCA. I've obviously hidden the name of the student, the roll number of the student, a barcode of the exam paper and a bunch of other things. Okay, because I want to maintain confidentiality, and I've taken permission of the student, by the way. Okay, without that we don't do anything. I just want to highlight something extremely unfortunate that has happened with the student. The student got FR 51, SFM he got 32, auditing 60, corporate and economic laws 54, 197 total. SCMP, elective paper, direct tax, indirect tax 248. So group 2 pass, total is 445. Group 1 pass except for SFM, and it is 32 marks. Very, very unfortunate. And he in fact reached out to me saying that, sir, is there a way in which I can actually, because he felt that some of the questions deserved marks. I will tell you what are those questions are, what are the issues and all of that. He did deserve marks, but I don't think he still would have crossed the 40 number. I've anyway asked him to send out his mark sheet and other stuff to the institute and see if there is some work that can be done. And he said that he's going to send an email and all of that stuff. So I'm not aware of the subsequent status, but unfortunately for him, he has to write a couple of papers all over again. Which all papers? See, because FR, how much did he get? FR he got 51. So he has to write FR. And auditing and professional auditing anyway has got an exemption. So FR and SFM he has to write again. Very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate that economic loss anyway, that chapter, that thing is removed, so it is not an issue. But unfortunately, just because of this, he has to write 2 papers again. So let us go through his paper. So one of the common observations, I'm actually going to do a couple of more papers also. I will share some of these common observations with you. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll also write them down in one other sheet where all the observations are visible. I'll probably write them down in a paper here with me, and then later on what I'll do is, after I finish the review of all 2 or 3 papers, I will summarize all the key pointers that I have noted down here. Okay? So let us see. I will not show you the question as of now. Question paper is there here. I will show the question to you when we reach there. Now, first thing what this student has done and what I've observed in a lot of papers, first he started with answer 3. There is absolutely no problem in starting answer 3. But I have a problem when you start with 3C. Institute doesn't have a problem. Legally, they don't have a problem. You can start with 3A, 3B, 3C. But please think of an evaluator. Please think of an evaluator, the person who is correcting your exam paper. You are writing 3C one place, 3A one place, 3B one place, 4B one place. You are basically passing on a vibe. You are passing on a vibe that you are confused because you have solved questions in a teda-meda manner. Some of you may have other issues. Sir, first question I don't know, or in answer question 3 I don't know 3A. Then I'll do 3B, then I'll do 3C. The first one that I know, that I should have a good, I should form a good impression. That is important. But it is also important that entire 3 should be answered in one place. You see, first year answered 3C. He's got good marks in that. Okay. He made some mistake and all of that, value of right. I'm not going to get into that value of right, what mistake is made and all of that. I'll come to one very, very specific issue in this paper. I'll not go through each and every question. Okay. After doing 3C, he's come to 3B. Okay, he's come from backwards, and in 3B also he's made some mistakes and has not got some marks and all of that stuff. Then, let me see, he left blank, then he moved to 5C. And they get irritated. Please think of them, they are also human beings. It is their job, they're getting paid for it, they're doing a service, all of that is fine. But then it is human mentality that you'll actually get irritated when you see in a haphazard manner. Even if, let us say, argument's sake, there are very, very shant, patient people. Even then, such a person, even if they don't get irritated, they may get confused. Even though it is digital marking, they may get this vibe that, oh, I am actually dealing with a confused student. My suggestion, start with question 3, but please answer 3A, 3B, 3C. Leave some space. If you don't know something, write 3A, then leave it blank, go to 3B. Okay, then go to 3C. This is my suggestion. Okay, this is what I would think. Now, some of you may agree, some of you may not agree. That's a different aspect. But my suggestion: do 3A, 3A, 3B, 3C together. Do in an order. Then go to 4, 5, whichever one you want. You solve a question in entirety in chronological order. I'm not saying do one number. I'm not saying solve question number 1 first. I am saying solve whichever question you are comfortable, but solve A, B, C in an order for that question. Every question that you take, solve A, B, C in an order. It actually makes life simple for you as well as for the evaluator. Okay. Now let us come to this whole beta thing and all of that. This all is also solved properly. This is which question? This is question 5B. Then it's come to 5B2. It's got a good mark. Here he made some mistake somewhere. The market return and all of that, he made some mistake and he is okay with that. His primary question was with then 5A. Then he came to 5A. Then, okay, this question, no, friends, this Forex question, fate of forward contract, my strong suggestion always. So, there are 2 suggestions. Okay, first thing is write in order, write in serial order within a question. I am not saying solve 1 first. I am saying solve whatever you want. Solve 3, 4, 5, whichever question. But solve within 3, solve A, B, C in an order. Okay, that was the first. Second point what I have, which I always tell students, international financial management, if you get a question, especially not the GDR, ADR question, okay, the question of building a model, finding out NPV and all, solve last. Why? It basically wastes a lot of time. It is just time consuming. Third point, solve this Forex, fate of forward contract. Fate of forward contract. See, fate of forward contract, no, a lot of students will get confused. You know, plus, minus, that, here, that, this, upar se niche se upar, swap, interest. It is unnecessarily confusing. I know, you know, we have taught well, you have studied well and all of that, but even then it is confusing. My suggestion, solve that particular question, you know, towards the end. If you get an IFM and fate of forward contract, last IFM, before that you solve fate of forward contract. Because that sets your confidence low. That sets your confidence low. If you were confused in this, you don't know answer is right, wrong. So, you know, I'll show you one more paper. A student did everything right, but she spent 40 or 50 minutes on that. What is the use of spending 50 minutes on a single question? Right. So, forward contract, specifically fate of a forward contract, I always strongly suggest don't solve it in the beginning. Solve last way somewhere. Okay. Then, empty spaces are fine, no problem. Okay, nobody will get irritated. If you have 25 empty spaces, there is a problem. If you have 1 empty page, there is no problem. Okay, question number 2. Now, the student felt that he should have actually deserved marks, and even I feel that he should have deserved not necessarily full marks, but some marks. What is this question? They have asked something about conversion factor. Let us see what is the question. 2A is basically binomial model. 2B is investment in 3 mutual funds. This is also a tricky question, slight tricky, not fully tricky. 2C is conversion factor and interest rate. Explain in brief what is conversion factor, what are Vega and Rho in option value. Okay, 2C, we look at it. Conversion factor. Since the interest rate futures are traded in notional amounts, whereas actual delivery actual delivery may not happen. What is it that he wrote? Okay, writing has to be slightly more clear here. I know my writing is also bad. Okay. Where delivery must happen, RBI publishes conversion factors for each future, and bonds to be delivered is equal to futures price into conversion factor. Okay, this is broadly right. This is how many marks? It's a 4-mark question. It has 2 marks. Now, I fundamentally think the student knew what he had to write, but he didn't know how to communicate. This could have been written better. It is exam confusion. You forget some things. It is all fine. But this is the key thing. Probably a mark could have been given, probably. Okay. Next, come to Vega and Rho. Vega and Rho are option Greeks that indicate the sensitivity of option prices. Very good. Vega is equal to change in option price by change in volatility. V stands for volatility. Okay. Rho, change in option price due to change in rate of interest or risk-free rate. Both are actually correct. The student should ideally deserve marks. He wrote it in an equation form. That doesn't mean student does not know. That doesn't mean the answer is wrong. Vega is change in option price due to change in volatility. That is 100% right. You should have probably, the examiner was expecting something in written form. Okay, not in a equation form. But you know, that is unfortunate. But here the student actually deserves marks. So how many marks? 1. Here probably 2, because the student has actually written what is right. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. This is 2C. Then you come to 2A. 2A is the binomial model. And two-way binomial model, the student has computed 420, it has moved to 525, 378, everything is computed, U, computed D, what is R, what is the value, everything is computed. And then he is arrived at a value. This value is right. The answer is actually right. So the issue with this particular thing is, after computing it at 75, what is the value here? 75 is the payoff when the option when the stock price moves up, and 0 is the payoff when stock price comes down. He's done that, but he's skipped a couple of steps. What is value of call? Value of call is payoff at both, payoff into probability for both the probabilities and both the payoffs divided by, that is 1, that is the payoff. Then you discount it to the present value and is done it right. This particular part, this is basically binomial model. Same thing they ask, what is the risk neutral model also. In risk neutral also you are supposed to find out. In risk neutral method, you are supposed to say that he has done it completely wrong, because according to him in risk neutral he's got a value of 40 which is wrong. So this is a complete mistake, so he will not get any mark for this. Now how many marks question is this? Okay, this is an 8-mark question. Calculate 3 months call option using binomial method, and calculate binomial method and risk neutral method, and state clearly basis of valuation. Probably this has 4 marks, this has 4 marks. So first one you should have ideally got 2 marks. This is wrong, which is where risk neutral he didn't compute it properly, and clearly state the basis of valuation. Now what has he stated as basis of valuation? Hence the value of the option are different, and hence prevailing at discount rate or something, he wrote something. Option price has to be same under risk neutral and binomial, because both of them come from same logics, which is it's in risk neutral world. The probability, the volatilities are 2 volatilities up and down, and the probabilities are defined in such a way that the nobody makes more than risk-free return. There are a bunch of points. There are a bunch of points that you are supposed to write. Right now he's not written any of that, so he's lost mark for this. But he still would have got this 2 marks here. Ideally, in my opinion, or for this, because he's actually solved it correctly, there is no mistake there. So he would have got 2. How much did he get earlier? 1 plus 2 plus 2, totally 5. Right. Then, and next question, B, 2B, right, 2B. 2B may, this is unfortunate again, right. So what has happened? 2B question is what? Let us see. S has 3 mutual funds, the following are details of the same. Right, date of investment, NAV, dividend received, unit NAV, increase, decrease in NAV, and effective yield per annum. So this is a googly question. Huh? So when they have given effective yield and they have also given you increase and decrease in NAV and the closing NAV and the opening NAV, are you supposed to work it based on yield, or are you supposed to work it on basis of increase or decrease in NAV? So what I am saying here is 25 paisa is the increase in NAV, correct? So the total increase in NAV is 22,000. So 22,727.27 divided by 0.25. You get 90,909.08. That is the overall increase, that is the number of units that you basically have. Right, if that is the number of units that you are having, and what else is there? If that is the number of units that you are having, you have invested it at 11 rupees. So multiply by 11, you get 9,99,999.88, which is close to 10 lakhs, roughly 10 lakhs. That is one way. Then effective yield is given. How do you compute using effective yield? You take 4.2296 is the overall return for how many period, what period? 1st June se leke 31st March. So which is about 10 months. For 10 months it is 4.2296. So you compute it, this is an annualized number. So for 10 months it is 4.2296 into 10 by 12. That is the return. That includes both the dividend value as well as increase in NAV, and then you assume one as X and then solve it. So what are the things that they have asked? Compute the amount of investments made, number of units invested in each of these schemes. Either we can also advise whether he can hold this investment or can he redeem now. Now this is again a how many marks question? B may, this is a 8-mark question. This is an 8-mark question, right? Yes, this is an 8-mark question. See, let us see what the student has done. So first, confusion, so he stuck it out. NAV at entry is 11, then 22,297 plus 12,500 plus divided by X. So he did a computation. He got number of units. What was the number of units that we got? 90909. So he actually did not get a rounded number. He did not get an exact number what we are supposed to get. So what did he do? Why did this mistake happen? Because he did not, he took this 4.2296 and then computed it, then divided it and all of that. and he made a mistake in decimals. He made a mistake. Even then, marks should have ideally been allotted. In my opinion, marks should have been allotted. Okay, marks should have ideally been allotted to him for all three parts, because all three values he should ideally have got marks. However, having said that, he will not get full marks because specifically because you not see what did they say? If you actually look at the question also, no, see, round off the investment value to nearest 100. Did he round off to nearest 100? That is a key ask. That is a key ask, right? What was the key requirement here? You have to round off. You see this particular thing, I'll solve and show you. 14.6978 into 9 by 12. 14.6978 into 9 divided by 12 is equal to 11.02335. I'll do it as m plus. Then 93,333 plus 17,000 is equal to 1,10,333 divided by whatever I have saved in memory recall. I should ideally get 1,009.0. 1,009. Okay, but what has happened? He is not rounded off. He is made a computation where he himself has eliminated decimals and all of that, because of which he, even though he is very close to the answer, he is neither rounded off nor is he arrived at, and the examiner also is extremely strict. Now he could have ideally written, where would you have got marks here? Where could you have got marks here? One, rounding off. Second, somewhere you should say that how did you arrive at this number? The return is equal to, how is return computed? Return is equal to your increase in NAV plus your dividend divided by the opening value. That gives you the total overall return. You multiply that by the period whatever you have and then arrive at annualized return or something. You have to basically write a formula, and then from that formula you have to work backward. You have not written it, directly jumped into the answer saying that this is how it is. So you have lost step marks also, you have lost rounding off marks also, you have got an incorrect answer, you have got lost marks for that as well. Right. So what will happen here? Out of this, how many marks will you give? 8 mark question. Every single aspect you made a same error. Probably a couple of marks. So, and where we'll end up out of 8 mark question, every portion is 2 to 3 marks. Right. It's an 8 mark question, no? Amount of number of units and investments made. I'll advise whether he can continue to hold or not. So this advice also has probably a couple of marks. Each one of them has 2 marks. So he should ideally have got so on an overall basis for this 8 mark question, let us see what has he done for option C is computed for C, then advice. You may choose to reinvest in either scheme A or B, since it is dividend will also grow at so and so % respectively in upcoming years. So you are supposed to invest all the money in the scheme which is giving maximum return on an overall basis. Have you done that? You have not written. So the last part is gone. So out of 8, 2 marks is gone. Balance 6 is left. Out of this 6, probably you will get couple of marks. Even if you get couple of marks, you will probably be at 38 or 39. Right? Could they have added 1 mark extra and passed him? That is an independent thing. Okay, that I am not aware of. But even if I were to evaluate this paper, he would probably end up getting some 38 or 39. Right, not a convincing pass. Okay, not a convincing pass. 38 or 39, something like that, something in the border. Will they add? I don't know. Probably they could have added. Right, but you see what is the issue of this particular student? And there are, I will not solve each and every question, but I want to highlight specifically this question where the student has made a mistake. First, you have to read the question fully. You have read it half, you have understood it half, you have not written steps fully, you have jumped steps. Why are these steps required? So this is another point, what I was to highlight. Steps. Then read question fully. More importantly, for you also to check whether you have made any mistake. Had you written everything in stepwise process, you would have figured, there is a decimal, something is missing, why did I make a mistake? If you had extra time, you can go through the steps and all. But when there are no steps, everything is direct computation, how will you go through a question? Okay, there is a purpose to steps for marking. That marking is also for you to think in a logical format, for you not to jump to answers. Okay, this is not a multiple choice question. This is a detailed, proper response. Why is a proper response required for a chartered accountant? Because you have to think in a structured manner. You have to think logically. You have to think step by step. That is a requirement of a chartered accountant. That is how a chartered accountant is supposed to function in practice or as well as in a job. That is why they want you to think like that. That is why they were allotting marks like that. Now, if you think in terms of, no, I will jump steps and directly give the answer. Google also gives you answer, yeah. You are a human being. You are supposed to think logically, structurally in a stepwise format. right? So step-wise solution will actually help you uncover your own mistakes. Okay, so if you look at all of this, right, I actually felt very bad for this guy. Probably he could have passed. It could be, depends on a evaluator who's slightly liberal or something like that. Even if I were to, as I said, no, even if I were to evaluate, I would have given him 38 or 39. He got 32. Poor chap, right? And unnecessarily, because of this one subject, he's having to write two subjects all over again, FR and AFM all over together again under new syllabus. So sad, no? So sad. And we shouldn't blame the institute, right? See, there are mistakes. I'm not saying there are no mistakes, but then it is not a convincing 41, no? It is still a unconvincing 39 or 38 or something like that, right? So what are the other questions? I don't think there's anything other questions that are left where there is marks have not been allotted or something like that. He's made mistakes. There's nothing, I don't think there is any other case. Only that question number 2 is what he thought that I should have ideally been getting marks. He didn't get those marks. Alright, so I want all of you guys to remember that, these 5 things so far what you have seen from this paper. Write in serial order ABC. International management, if you get a question, do it in the last. Fate of our contract, do it one before the last. Steps, please follow because they are for you. Marks are incidental. They are for you to think in a structured manner. Read question carefully and properly. Don't jump the question. Don't look here, there, half either, half there. It is all chaos. Please don't do that. Okay, this is one question paper that I want to review. There are a couple of more papers, small papers. I will not go deep as much as what I've gone here because I've already highlighted a lot of points here. So let me take you through a couple of more papers. So friends, this is the second paper of one more girl that I've actually reviewed. So she got 32 marks and poor girl, she's got 32 last time also. I think May 23 also she got 32, November 23 also she got 32. Okay, she solved 1A first, that's okay. But when it came to this E power RT and all, she made a mistake. So that is not in, that is not in control. Then she moved to point 3, number of contracts. She solved all of this very well. Okay, you see how beautifully she has written. So whatever she knew, she wrote well. The handwriting is neat, it is clean, in an orderly structure. This helps a evaluator feel that this student knows something well. Right, then came this fate of forward contract question, 5A. She also got stuck. Apparently, she spent 45 to 50 minutes on this, which is an 8-mark question when you have totally how many questions you have to answer 100 marks in 3 hours. 45 minutes you spend on an 8-mark question. What is going to happen? And see what happened. She got half of them right. You see the stepwise marking. She got 2 marks here, 3 marks here, 3. Then she made a mistake somewhere. Gone. After doing everything, she made a bunch of mistakes and then finally she got some mark here. Totally is 23 marks out of 8 marks. 45 minutes, you got 3 marks. So, fate of forward contract, please do not attempt it. Even if you are very confident, attempt it. And if you are so confident, attempt it in the end. No, don't attempt it in the beginning. She wasted time initially. Then NIA healthcare turnover 50 crores, so on and so forth, less than 20 crores eligible for recognition. She also wrote everything and then said it is eligible for recognition. Okay, so for her also that she lost that particular mark. Then I'll tell you where she actually made the mistake. So this about SML, right? Security market line, she just directly wrote it like this. You have to say what is risk-free rate, what is return on the market, what is the expected return multiplied by the beta. You have to write the formula, they compute the expected return and then give the full thing. Had she written, she would have got 1 more mark. You have to write the formula, you have to write the steps. So she wrote the formula, but she did not write the steps properly. She just skip, hop and jump the steps, right? Then you see next question, 4C. So this was about financial risk and counterparty risk. She wrote something else completely independent of that. For counterparty risk, due diligence should be conducted. Financial risk, due diligence, setting exposure to each party, checking other countries' investment ranking profits. I don't know what that means, but whatever. She wrote something related to counterparty. Then with respect to currency risk, she wrote something else completely. So basically confused. When I spoke to her, she said ki she is very, very scared at the time of writing exam. Don't be scared, no? I mean, see, obviously it is your exam, you are scared, but it is very easy for me to say don't be scared. But then you have to pass that battle. How will you succeed in this battle? By not doing the thing which is causing failure, by doing something which will help you succeed, which is, jo hoga dekha jaye yaar, what will happen? Nothing, earth is not going to shatter, world is not going to fall down, right? It is just an exam. Okay, then let us come to the next question. where she made a mistake. I'll not take too much time. I'll just quickly show you one specific question where she made complete. See how beautifully, how clean she's written. Right, I would suggest writing is so elegant, and see, she did some steps, and you see here, this was the question. This is on TERP question, X-rate theoretical price, theoretical X-rate price. She jumped to 14.285 here. What is this 14.285? She computed something here as 14.28. Where is it? How did she compute? How did she arrive? Nothing. She wrote elegantly, but how is that 14.285 arrived at? She didn't know. And 14.285 is the incorrect answer. It is on 12.5 or something like that. Okay, so if you write steps, no, you yourself can trace back your errors. If you don't write steps, you cannot trace errors. That is the key thing. Then last point I wish to highlight for her also, that question 2, which is, this is futures versus spot price. What is the premium and all that? For a put option, she wrote here as minus. I think, where is that? No, the premium. So she sold a put. If you sell a put, you actually will receive premium. Instead of writing positive number, she wrote negative number. Pura karke somewhere mistake. Because that entire question is gone, she got 2 marks out of this. She could have easily got another 2-3 marks. So do everything, then suddenly by mistake change some sign. Oh, now what can you blame the examiner for or the evaluator for? You cannot blame, no, you made the mistake, right? Then this option thing, binomial option. She was not sure what has to be done. Full confusion, khichdi. Okay, so I'll tell you where she got them wrong. She wrote all of this, and then she did not compute the price of the call. What is the price of the call? It is you have to compute U, D, probability, multiply with probability, arrive at weighted expected value of the call, discounted by the present value rate, and all of that. Did she do that? She computed the nodes, but then she didn't do the subsequent one. Risk neutral, she did something else. A spot into theoretical forward value is this, and that's all, left it halfway. How will you get a mark for that? Right. So like that, she bunch of mistakes. I don't want to go into every single mistake, but you see for her also, you see 3B here. Uske pehle what was it? 2A. Then uske pehle 3C. Then uske pehle before that what is there? 3B. That portrays a sense of confusion that you are a confused person. Don't allow the examiner to believe that. See, you can make, if you want to do something, no, do it for one question. Don't do it for every question, no. One question, TK, you forgot something, there is a mistake. Every question you do, that sets an impression. Please note that actively nobody is trying to cut marks for you. Subconsciously they get a feeling, arey ye kaun hai? Right? Some of them want to give you marks, but then still something would like this would somewhere they may miss something. Even though there is an objective criteria where you have to give mark for this step and all, half mark, 1 mark here and there can also make a difference. No? Right. So this is the thing. This is about the second paper that I want to talk about. Now let me go to the third paper. So friends, now come to the third paper. In this third paper, again same, that binomial method, option valuation price. Poor guy, when they asked binomial, he used some other method. He used a method which is basically, he did not compute. How do you compute binomial? You say how do you compute P? You e power RT minus D by U minus D. Then you use that and explain about nodes. Then you find out about payoffs. From payoffs, you multiply probabilities and then arrive at an expected value. The expected value you discount. Right? Has he done all of that? No. Directly, some PU of price minus PU, directly probability multiplied the price and so on and so forth, and he directly arrived at something, and then he arrived at the probability. Using the probability, he said now the value of the call is some 25. Right? I mean, direct jump. It is not even binomial, it is not even risk neutral, it is mix of both. Now coming to risk neutral valuation. For risk neutral valuation, instead of doing risk neutral, he did delta hedging method. Value of call is, I sell one call. If I sell one call, then how much of stock should I have so that I compensate for that call? This is delta hedging. So for solving risk neutral, he took delta hedging. For solving binomial, he took risk neutral. Why will the evaluator give marks? Even though your answer of 25, approximately 25 is, let us say, correct. Right? See, value of call, he got as 25.24. In both the cases, he got approximately close. But then he used different wrong methods, incorrect methods. So he used them delta ko leke aake put it and all of that. What purpose does it serve? Right. So, and then, what did he say? The basis for valuation under these models are values of like put call parity theorem and other pricing methods. Binomial method assumes that a price will show movement, although the call valuation under such is grossly dependent on the accuracy of the such probabilities of the result. This is not the answer. What exactly is the answer? I will show you. So in fact, this is the feedback that I sent to the student. While answer is correct, you solved it using risk neutral method. You should have specifically drawn a tree, identified values of stock, values of call, use words like value at node and so, and should have written this formula. Without that formula, why will you get step wise, please note. Explain what is U and D and then solve for value of call. Instead, you solve it completely like risk neutral, where the portfolio will generate a risk-free rate of return. Had you written steps properly, you would have got a mark or 2. Then I gave the ICA reference. Then risk neutral method, you solved using delta hedging instead of using risk neutral. Then basis of valuation. Correct answer would focus on following aspects, the theory part. What is risk neutral world? In that what happens? Where it is possible to earn only risk free rate. There are only 2 probabilities of movement with all possibilities can be drawn. Option values based on the principle of arbitrage independent of risk preference, not independence, independent of risk preferences. Answer per binomial and distributional should be same given the above points. These are also highlighted in certain page number in the website, in the ICA material. So you should write an answer that actually conveys that you know. Just by writing something and imagining that the other party will come and understand what is there in your heart will not happen. Now again, I am not blaming the student. It is like this only. Life is tough. Exams are also tough, and you are in tension. You are so tensed. What to do? How to do? There are so many questions. Half I know, half I don't know. Which is why it is important to first solve the easy question, solve it in ABC, leave some pages, and move forward. So we have looked at 3 papers. What are the key summary points? Question number in order. I am not saying 1, 2, 3, I am saying inside one ABC. So A, B, C. Then IFM last, IFM model is last. Then fate of forward contract, second last. Then steps, keywords, steps and keywords within the formula, within the problems also, not only for theory. Then read full question. Okay, this is what I can say basically from what students have sent me, and I am pretty sure most of the students will fall, 80% of the mistakes will fall in one of the other categories out of these. Alright, this is provided you have studied and you have knowledge. If you have not studied, you don't have knowledge, that's a different discussion altogether. Okay, that cannot be classified under how to write exam paper. If you don't know the subject, what will I tell you how to write? If you know the subject, then we can have a discussion around this. Okay, so I will not take further time. Let us conclude this. This is the summary of what I want to convey. Please keep these things in order, or please keep these things